You see a spider. How do you respond, both inside and out? What is your immediate internal reaction, the one no one gets to see? Is your physical reaction, how you handle the situation, the same? Please share your true stories. I am unable to engage in conversation using the comment section for this post. If you would like to discuss, please send me a direct message, and I will be happy to engage with you that way. Story 1. Spiders are cool. If they are inside, I will catch and release them outside. If they are outside, unless they are in a walkway or somewhere similar, do your thing, spider brothers. The only time I would willingly kill a spider is if it is a funnel web or redback spider, no questions asked. Story 2. I go into full defensive mode and start planning a military precision operation to kill it. My entire life is on hold until it is dead. I am terrified, but it must be done. Story 3. I see a spider, and inside my brain, I say spider. Then I carry on with my day. Sometimes, if it is a big or colorful spider, I say cool spider. I do not have any large spiders around me. Those would probably be scary. The biggest spider around me has a leg span of just over an inch. Google says they can get up to 3.5 inches. Story 4. If it is in my way or I think someone will kill it, I move it outside or somewhere else. If it is really small and not bothering anyone, I just leave it be. However, if there is a spider on my bed, for example, and I cannot catch it, I do get shivers and hope for the best. It depends on where you are from, I guess. Those poor Australians. Story 5. I am in the United Kingdom, so we do not have any dangerous spiders here. However, I know people who are still scared of spiders, but I am not. Story 6. It honestly depends on the spider. Jumping and small fuzzy spiders, which are kind of cute, I try to guide out of my house. Wolf spiders usually I kill on sight. Random tiny spiders that live in the corners I am not too worried about. I have only encountered one black widow, which was an automatic kill just in case it decided to hide. Story 7. Inside. Put it into a plastic cup and release it outside. Outside, I ignore it. My wife and I have a rule about not killing insects or rodents. I'm not a hippie or anything. I just feel uncomfortable ending a life for no real reason. Story 8. If it is a small spider or one of those really skinny ones, I will let it be. If it is a thick one, I will freeze in revulsion, then get the spider catcher and put it outside. Story 9. Internal. Oh, it is a spider. Is it one of the lethal ones in my area? Now, is it crawling away to hide under a baseboard or piece of furniture? Now, time to kill it. External. Stares at spider until it either runs away or I get up and squish. Story 10. Depends on the spider. If it is a jumper, the thicker small ones that are kind of fuzzy, then I leave it be. That is my friend, making sure there are no real pests that I do not want in the house. It effectively pays its rent and does not make messy webs. Any web spinners and daddy long legs are ushered outside in a cup. I appreciate their work, but they are not welcome here. A recluse or widow spider must be eliminated. They are an actual threat to my existence, so they get squished quickly. Story 11. Unless they are on me or heading directly toward me, I just ignore them. Generally, I do not see them a second time. Story 12. Arachnids fear my name and my unpredictable nature. I may ignore it. I may release it. I may kill it. The uncertainty paralyzes them with terror. As for me, I feel nothing either way. Story 13. My first reaction is, ooh, what kind of spider is that? I hope my wife does not see it. Then I will try to catch it and release it outside. Story 14. I had a serious anxiety-ridden existential crisis years ago. That experience changed me to the point of being extremely considerate of all living things. I set spiders free when I see them or give them little notice. They are actually helpful around the house, but they give my wife and children the ick, so I free them before anyone notices. Story 15. I say, "Aw, hello friend," and capture it. Then I take it outside and leave it in a place where I think it would be happy. Story 16. I usually ignore them unless it is in the kitchen. In that case, I either trap it and take it outside or, on rare occasions, I cover it with a paper tissue and crush it. Story 17. If they are unwilling to crawl onto my hand and stay there, I usually grab them carefully by one of their hind legs and carry them out that way. Story 18. Depends on how big it is. If it is small, then I will either kill it or move it outside if it is easy enough. If it is big, I will kill it. If it is really big, I will burn the house down and tell the authorities it had to be done. Story 19. If it is on me, I am slapping myself until I am sure it is dead. If it is in my house and more than a foot from me, I am annoyed and quickly kill it. If it is outside, it is only in danger if it looks like it might enter my personal space. Story 20. I don't care if I see a spider. Generally, I leave them alone. But if my wife is around, I do my due diligence and kill it so she doesn't have an episode of screeching about the spider and how I need to kill it. Unfortunately, I had to participate in this routine last night because she spotted one. Story 21. Internally, I am extremely creeped out. However, spiders are incredibly beneficial, especially during mosquito season. So, I usually just move them away from me and let them go on their way. In the house, I usually kill them unless we have fruit flies or something else. Then, I leave them alone for a while before killing them. Story 22. I had a spider in my bathroom for a year. I named him Steven. He hung in the corner. One day he was gone, and it was sad. I generally leave spiders alone. Story 23. I say, "Hey, bud, let's get you outside." Unless it is a jumper, they are welcome. Or an orb weaver, or a louse spider, or a wolf spider, or a false widow. Actually, all spiders are welcome in my home, I guess. Story 24. If it is small, then I let it live and help me keep flies and other annoying insects out of my home. If it is too big for my liking, then I vacuum it up. I remember waking up to my dog growling in the corner of my room and seeing the biggest house spider chilling there. I got up and vacuumed it. My dog hated it more than I did. Her growling woke me right up. Story 25. I have full-blown arachnophobia. It is a true phobia, not just I don't like them. My brain goes into a full-blown irrational fear response. I have gotten much better at composing myself, but I have to use a vacuum to remove them. Story 26. If inside, I carefully grab my new spider friend and put it somewhere safe, like a plant or a place where it can make a nice web. For biting spiders, I use a piece of paper to catch them. Jumping spiders require a lot of patience, but that is about it. Story 27. I'll leave it alone if it just wants to chill in a corner in the basement, but if it is hanging down the center of the room or crawling on the wall in my line of sight, I grab whatever is handy and hit it. Story 28. I stare at it for a moment to make sure it is safe to let it out of my sight while adrenaline pumps through my system. Then I choose my weapon. Jar, vacuum, or the almighty chancla. Story 29. Outside spiders I leave alone, and inside spiders provide a service. However, there are too many inside spiders. I have 3, and that is the maximum. If a 4th shows up, it is moved outside. Story 30. Grab a glass and put it over them. Scoot the glass over a paper towel and flip it over. Take it outside and dump it. Done. Story 31. If I see a jumping spider inside, at work or in my home, I will catch it with my hands and move it outside. House spiders I will leave in their corner. They usually die there or move somewhere else. Wolf spiders or any others besides the 2 I mentioned, if inside, I will likely fight them and win. Story 32. Leave them alone. If I see one in the way or in jeopardy, I will scoop it up. A little one hopped on my hand when I was on the bus and crawled across my fingers until I reached my stop and could put it on a plant. I would love to handle or one day own a tarantula or a jumping spider. They look amazing. Story 33. Not just you, I definitely know the spider will come back later, but still, I'm too scared to kill it, so I just live with the anxiety and fear until it comes back. Hopefully, I'm not home alone when it does. I start screaming for help, and they take it outside because I feel bad if they kill it. Ridiculous, I know. Story 34. It depends. Some spiders are small and skinny. I just kill them without thinking. Then there are those big and thick spiders. For some reason, I struggle to kill those. I have to plan my move. I don't even bother with spiders outside. I let them be. Story 35. As a child, I never had issues with spiders, but my father was extremely terrified of them, and I never understood why he made us kill them. One day, a spider was above his chair. I had a shoe to squash it. Otherwise, he would just freak out. As I went to kill it, it jumped on my face. After that, I cannot be near one without screaming. That one incident was all it took for my body to avoid spiders completely. Now, it's me and my dad who can't be near them. If I see one in my room and don't kill it, and it disappears, I won't sleep until I either find it or fall asleep from exhaustion. I taught my dog to attack spiders for me. When he sees one, he immediately kills it, and I give him a treat and many hugs because I cannot be around spiders. If I walked into a room full of spiders, I would probably pass out. Story 36. Outside, oh, hey little guy. Nice web you have there. Keep up the good work. Inside, the cats have not seen you yet. Quick, get inside this cup and I will carry you to safety. Story 37. Internal, oh, a spider. Mwahaha, I have an electric bug swatter. External. Very calm, but covers the spider with the swatter and wiggles it until it climbs on, then zaps it until it is burnt to death. Alternatively, internal, oh, a cool spider. Grabs an old Alfredo jar with air holes. External. Captures the spider. Repeat the first reaction but with a bug and spider instead of the bug swatter. Feeds it to the spider. Story 38. Years ago, I shared a caravan with a beautiful huntsman for about a month until she inadvertently crawled under me while I was asleep and got squashed. I still feel bad. I also had a close encounter with a pretty big golden orb spider, about 12 to 14 centimeters leg span. Very beautiful. Story 39. Depends if it is Derek or not. He lives in the corner of my home office and catches any flies or other annoyances that get in. We have an understanding. Otherwise, unless it is a false widow, I scoop them up in something and throw them out the window. If it is a false widow, they get splat. False widows are the only species we get here that can give you a nasty bite, and they are invasive, so it is best to get rid of them. I still get that internal nope reflex if a house spider lands on me unexpectedly. But I am not arachnophobic, so there is no real panic involved. Story 40. I ignore them mostly. I don't like them, but I am not scared of them, and I am the designated spider remover in our house. I have a glass and a bit of card we keep handy in autumn because my wife and daughter both hate them. United Kingdom though, so what is going to happen? Story 41. Usually pick them up with paper or by hand, depending on what is less likely to squash them, and flick them out of the way. I had a huge one once in my apartment that woke me because I heard its legs rubbing on the wallpaper. It was about as big as my hand, which is unusual in my country. In the middle of the night, I got the vacuum cleaner and vacuumed it away. The next day, I learned how brutal that is, and how many times a spider approximately slams into the walls of the pipe before reaching the dust bag of the cleaner. That big spider scared me, but I still felt bad afterward. Story 42. It highly depends on whether I know what spider it is. What has helped me a lot with general avoidance or fear is knowing what I am looking at and if it is actually dangerous for me in any way. If I see a spider that I know cannot hurt or infect me, I do not worry and continue with what I was doing before, unless it gets close to food. If I do not know the spider, I try to take a picture or remove it from the house while keeping a safe distance. Story 43. I appreciate him for his bug killing and leave him be. If he is in a place that is inconvenient for me, I will try to catch him in a cup or something and move him outside. Story 44. Get them in the bath now and then, so try to give them a way out. Usually they decline. Water starts splashing and suddenly I am their lifeline. Get them out and to some place safe so they can catch fruit flies and midges. No problem with climbing over my hands. Story 45. I have arachnophobia, so my initial reaction is involuntary. I jump in panic as if I have touched something red hot on the stove. Immediately after, I am fine and completely capable of killing the spiders, but it is quite embarrassing if anyone sees it. This does not happen with other dangerous creatures like snakes. I live in Australia, so encounters with snakes occur more often than you might think. The reaction only happens with spiders or anything that looks or moves like a spider out of the corner of my eye. The only spiders I do not kill are daddy longlegs and huntsman spiders, as they are non-venomous. Story 46. It depends on the spider. A big, gangly, fast spider means danger to the intruder. A calm jumping spider? I'm gently scooping that tiny creature up in my hands and placing it in my jade plants. Story 47. Honestly, I have a little adrenaline spike, but if I see that it is not a venomous spider, I am happy. I love spiders personally. I have always thought how they instinctively know how to spin webs is amazing. Story 48. Once, while working in the basement, I saw a fairly large house spider crawling up the wall. I knew that immediate, decisive action had to be taken. I named him Frank. He stayed down there all summer. Story 49. My very first instinct is this split-second, barely recognizable, almost primal shock. For a brief moment, my attention spikes and my body tenses up. It is most noticeable when I am completely relaxed. Actually, it is kind of silly the more I think about it. Next thought, oh, it is just a spider. Then, should I kill it? No, my girlfriend always throws a tantrum if I do. I might as well catch it and put it outside. Story 50. In Seattle, most spiders are beneficial. They eat insects, so they are helpful. They do not bite me, so I leave them alone. On rare occasions, I see a black widow, but they do not tend to hang out where I sleep, so I also leave them alone. Story 51. Where is the spider? If it is not on me or in my food, my reaction is, oh look, a spider, and I probably move on with life. If it is in my food, my reaction is to think, can I salvage the food? If it is on me, my reaction is, let's get this thing off me. Story 52. I love them. I kept a few as pets. The large ones are good for controlling insects. They are cute little creatures with 8 eyes, allowing them to see in all directions. Story 53. I am stepping on it, but I also do not live in an area where spiders are dangerous. The most venomous kind rarely bites and only causes a mild itch. Story 54. I would usually go about killing them with indifference until a few months ago. Somehow, I had a black widow spider crawling slowly on my hand. I promptly burned my house down after that. Story 55. Run for my life. I get my mother to handle them. Cannot do it. I have tried to do it myself, but I just cannot. Story 56. Oh, hi there, little spider. Don't touch me and we'll be good. Keep eating the other nasty bugs. That's my usual thinking. I did have a spider drop onto my neck in the shower once. I threw it down the drain. I also had one crawl into my ear once. It was crawling along the pillow when I turned my head. I kind of scooped it up. Not the poor spider's fault. I got up and shook it out onto the bathroom floor. Took a minute. It was making scratching noises on my eardrum. Not constantly, just for a few seconds at a time. Story 57. Inside, I'll catch them and then release them outside. Outside is more their space than mine, so I pretty much leave them alone. We live close to a large river, so we tend to get a lot of moths, mosquitoes, and other flying bugs in late spring and summer. I'm fine with the bugs that eat the bugs that bother me. Story 58. I have legitimate arachnophobia, like panic attacks. It has gotten better over the years, and I can generally keep myself together and not panic. However, even spiders in games and films still give me the shivers. Inside the house, they are dead. No exceptions. I do not care what kind of spider it is. I do not go to their home. They have no business being in mine. Outside the house, I try to give them a wide berth and get on with my day. They are where they are supposed to be, doing what they are supposed to do. I am not out here looking to kill spiders. Just stay over there, I will stay here, and we will both live to see tomorrow. To be clear, my wife kills the spiders inside. I have to use the long-handled vacuum to do it. Story 59. My initial reaction is to kill it. I am really not grossed out or scared of spiders. I just do not want it to bite anyone in the house and poison them. Story 60. I get upset if I don't see bugs on their website. If you are not paying rent by tolerating unauthorized occupants, then please leave. Story 61. I have one rule. Spiders must stay away from my bed. Outside of that, I leave them alone. Spiders and centipedes eat bugs. If they are around, they are taking care of other pests in the house. They would not be there if there was no food for them. So as long as they leave me alone, we will be cool. Story 62. Small ones I will catch and release. A huntsman. Larger ones I will freeze in terror and stare at until we both back away. Story 63. Pretty much anything that touches me without asking first or at least giving some type of warning is going to be attacked in some way. Story 64. If my wife or daughters find one, I crush it with my hands, which brings me joy. If I find one, I usually leave it where I found it. Story 65. I am intensely afraid of spiders, which is funny because I am the crawler at my company and am regularly put into tight spaces with webs all around. I just have to calm myself down and do my job as quickly and efficiently as possible. However, I have panicked a few times and had to be talked out of some crawl spaces. It is getting better, but I still dread doing it sometimes, especially since I live in Northern California, which is known for black widow spiders. Story 66. It depends. If it is a small spider in a corner, I will just leave it be. If it is a big one, I will try to shoo it out of my house. The big ones also scare me a bit, but I will just usher them out with a broom or something. Story 67. If they appear suddenly, they scare me. I was late to school once because a spider was between me and the bathroom. Story 68. Initial reaction. Cute. I love my spider brothers. There is nothing to handle. They can manage. The only time I had a negative reaction to spiders was when I had about 40 moderately poisonous ones in my hair. But that was my fault for getting too close to them. I shook them out, nobody bit me, and I was fine. Most of the time, we just leave each other alone, and they help keep other bugs in check. I would rather have spiders than flies, mosquitoes, and similar insects. Story 69. Outside? Fine. Small and tiny like Dave. Hello, Dave. No action required. Face hugger equivalent? Sorry. It's time to die. I used to hate spiders. My wife will forever hate them. I have to deal with them. As such, I have become somewhat immune to my old fear. But sometimes they are of a size that I cannot help but vanquish them. Story 70. It depends. If they are on a web, I will leave them alone since I know where they are and they usually stay there. Jumping spiders are relocated to my plants, and any hunting spider is dealt with on site. Story 71. I have several spiders living in my house. They do not bother me, and I do not bother them. I very rarely kill one. Story 72. My first reaction is to find a cup so I can catch the spider and let it go. My sink handle broke, and I stopped using it for a few days. When I went back to use it, a spider had taken up residence and made a web. I caught the spider and let it go. If my wife sees a spider, she will call me to rescue it. But if I am not fast enough, she will kill it without telling me. Story 73. The least traditionally masculine thing I do is how I react to bugs touching me unexpectedly. I will spare you the details, but there are gasps and involuntary movements. That said, if it is on my terms, I try to catch and release useful bugs like spiders or bumblebees. Wasps, however, have a standing kill on site order. Story 74. My internal reaction is generally neutral. I make sure to check that it is not about to or likely to walk on me because that is way too many legs, and the feeling of it creeps me out on some fundamental level. I generally leave them alone if possible, and my preference is to just shoo them away if not. If there is one in a location where someone in the family cannot deal with it because of arachnophobia, I generally just squish it with a tissue. Story 75. If they are outside, avoid them. Once you enter my domicile, you are trespassing and will be removed expeditiously. Story 76. I like spiders. I find them fascinating. My wife fears spiders, so it is my job to carry them out of the house. I catch small spiders in my hand, but with large spiders, I am afraid they could bite me, so I use a glass. I live in an area free of truly venomous spiders, but I do not want to risk a painful bite, even if it is non-lethal. Story 77. Spiders scare me. However, I try not to kill them if there is enough space and no risk of them coming my way. Story 78. Normally it goes like this. My woman screams. I come running. There's a spider. I say, "Oh, it's just a spider." Then I either kill or move the spider. If it's a black widow or brown recluse, both of which are genuinely dangerous to humans, I kill it by smashing it with my hand. If it's not a dangerous type of spider, I usually grab it by a leg or two and drop it outside, where it can continue killing bugs in peace. Story 79. It depends on the spider in question and the location where I found it. If I see a spider outside, 99% of the time I just ignore it or say, "Cool spider," and move on with my life. If it is a common house spider I find at home, I either let it go outside or let it be if it is in a place I cannot reach. If I find a brown recluse or black widow, it is immediate death for the spider as soon as I can find something to safely kill it with. Story 80. Older man here. Unless it is a black widow and I know there are children around, it is the only spider I will kill. I will also crush their spiky egg sacs. Story 81. I want my spiders to be in certain locations. If one is in a bedroom or bathroom, I quickly collect it and move it outside, far from the house. I like to have a spider live in one of my kitchen windows. I often get yellow jackets and they can be a pain in September and October. If a young spider establishes territory in one of the 3 windows, I allow it to thrive. I love it in late summer when yellow jackets get caught in the web 3 or 4 per day. Story 82. I really do not like spiders, so I try to avoid them whenever possible. When I am forced to deal with spiders, I handle them with extreme violence. This means I usually end up squishing them in the most aggressive way possible. The use of more violent methods is not ruled out. Story 83. Roommates that eat bugs. I am all about them. Where I live in Michigan, there is only one native spider that can cause much harm, and those little brown spiders are reclusive. So I am not mad. That being said, I was bitten by a white-backed spider in Melbourne 10 years ago. It ate a hole in my arm the size of a quarter. It still hurts a little. Story 84. My partner screams, runs to find me, or calls me crying if a spider is near the door. I have to stand between it and her to let her run out of the room. I admire the spider a bit if it is big, maybe poke its leg and watch it, then get a cup to catch it in and take it outside. I have also been informed that "aren't you pretty" is not the correct response to a spider. Story 85. It depends where. I have a fairly small apartment, so if it is in my kitchen, in the corner under appliances, I will let them be. In my bedroom, that creature is dead. I am not trying to have a spider crawl on me in my sleep. Luckily, I do have 2 cats. They hunt any big insects. They have, on multiple occasions, cornered a roach and then I come in to kill it. Story 86. Outside, observe and admire. Inside, catch and release outside. On me, become alarmed, gently remove them from my body, then move them outside. Story 87. It depends on where it is and how big it is. I try to either put them outside or leave them alone if they are not by my bed. If they are in my room and it is late, they have to go. Story 88. I love spiders so much. Now, original poster, if you want to get serious, bring up cockroaches if you want to see a grown man lose his composure. Story 89. Spiders are welcome guests in my house. I have been known to feed wasps and flies to them, trying to prove that I am worthy of their decision to share my house. Story 90. Internal response. High-pitched scream. External response. Everyone, calm down. It is more scared of you than you are of it. Story 91. Once it is determined that they are not brown recluse or black widow spiders, they are either left in place to do their job and named Scooter or Trigger, or escorted out of the space to somewhere more suitable. No one stays in the bedroom, though, unless it is a house centipede. Story 92. I think they are cool little ghosts in the shell-style tanks wandering around getting up to their crafty ways. When I see one, I think, "Hey little spider bro, what are you up to?" Then I make sure to stay out of its way and let it get on with its little quest. I would not want anyone to freak out and attack me just going about my business, So I am not going to do that to some little dude that is absolutely tiny compared to me. Spiders are great. I let them do what they want, and I appreciate the free pest control when one settles in for the winter once in a while. Story 93. Immediate internal reaction is pretty much, oh hi there little guy. If it is in the way, I just move or gently shoo it away. If it is not, I leave it be. They usually do not attack if I give them no reason. I guess those two reactions are not the same but close. I am gentle on the outside, a little marshmallow on the inside. Story 94. Before having children, my immediate reaction was to get away from spiders, but I do not want my boys to have the same fear. Now I take the oldest one, as the youngest is only a baby, to the spider and either get him to hold it, say hello, or sing Incy Wincy Spider. Story 95. I am highly skilled at safely catching and releasing spiders and other insects such as crickets and moths. It is my most well-developed skill. Story 96. Most of the time, I scoop them up with my hands, show my children, and relocate them. Only a couple of dangerous spiders, so unless it is one of those, it is no big deal. The dangerous ones I kill to keep my family and pets safe. Story 97. If they are bothering me somehow, I will put them in a cup and stick them outside. Otherwise, I am not bothered by them, especially if they are eating things I like less. Story 98. Well, once when I was showering, I saw a spider and a wave of euphoria went through me. I do not know why, maybe random hormones because of puberty. From that moment, when I see a spider, my internal reaction is, hi, how are you doing, my friend? Story 99. I am arachnophobic, so my initial reaction is a jolt of adrenaline to my heart and freezing up. I find it hard to move and have to mentally overcome the fear to get my feet moving. A couple of times, I was really surprised by a spider, started to hyperventilate, and could see my vision beginning to tunnel. I just have to sit down and let the panic subside. Story 100. If they are within reach, take it. If not, just ignore it. If it is significant, it will disappear. Story 101. I catch a spider with a cup and something thin, like a book or toilet paper, and release it outside if I see one at home. My reaction is mostly neutral, but I can be a bit startled when I see them unexpectedly, such as on my bed. I would not say I am scared of spiders. Seeing any animal unexpectedly like that would be startling. I have seen huge spiders about the size of a human hand in a zoo and thought it was cool. Story 102. I used to be terrified. I would immediately kill them. I don't know what happened, but after having my son, I stopped because I didn't want him thinking it is okay to harm animals. This made me develop a soft side for all animals. I had one before specifically for creepy crawlers. Now I try my best to use a long object to pick them up and put them safely outside. Now my son sees one and says, "Ah, little spider, let's help it get home." And he helps with the process. Story 103. They are calm. They will eat more pests around. They mostly stay in the same spot. As long as they do not venture into the bedroom, bathroom, or kitchen while I am there, they are allowed free rein to do as they please. Leave me alone and I will do the same. If they enter a forbidden zone, they usually get swatted. I do not really bother with the whole cup thing. The largest spiders we get around here are the size of a quarter. I would probably be very afraid if I found a tarantula or huntsman spider in the house. Story 104. Outside, keep a wide distance and continue moving. Inside, scream loudly, then obtain a hammer, fire, vacuum, or poison. Story 105. Spiders do not really make me feel any emotion. I have never understood what makes them so scary to people, to be honest. I usually just let them be, but sometimes scoop them up with a paper towel and release them outside. Story 106. Unless they are venomous to humans, I just let them stay in the corner and eat the more annoying insects. Tropical life. Story 107. If it is a jumping spider, I am trying to get it to be my friend. For any other spider, I just hope it goes away. Story 108. Without mercy or hesitation, they are intruders who must be dealt with in the most efficient and lethal manner. They will show you no quarter. Give them none. Story 109. They do not really bother me, but how I handle it depends on what kind of spider it is. If it is a black widow or brown recluse, I kill it. I am not taking that chance with my children. If it is anything else, I let it be because it keeps other pests' numbers down. Story 110. Is it in an inconvenient spot for me? If it is on my stuff or in my way, I will get it to draw on something and move it outside. If I just see one sitting in the corner, I will leave it alone. They eat the annoying flies. Story 111. I leave them alone if they are out of the way. I befriended a spider that was over my shower window just resting, and I noticed I didn't have to kill as many drain flies and gnats as before, so I was okay with it. That changed when it had babies. Then I had to kill them all with a lighter and a can of Febreze. Story 112. Unless they are in a place I frequently need to access, I just leave them be. I would much rather have spiders than other creepy bugs. Story 113. I dislike spiders, especially the small ones that bite you while you are sleeping, making you itchy, the large hairy ones that scare elderly people, and the venomous ones that can cause serious harm. Some people have tarantulas and say things like, "Let me help you conquer your fear. We will make a spider-friendly world together." My response to those people is always the same. If you try to put it on me, I will smash it. If it bites me in the process, I will take legal action for the emergency room bill. That usually results in the spider being put back in its container quickly. Story 114. First, I introduce myself and ask what his name is. I then ask him what his intentions are in my house. Next, I ask if he could kindly vacate my house. If he does not, then I take action. Really, I just pick it up and put it outside. Unfortunately, I have heard that they cannot survive outside for some reason. Story 115. I am not from Australia, so they are not a big deal. As long as they leave me alone, I will leave them alone. Story 116. Outside. Leave them. Inside. I scoop them up in my hand and place them outside. No need to overcomplicate things. Thanks to living in my grandmother's vegetable garden, insects and such do not bother me. Story 117. Literally nothing. I just let them chill. I have been bitten before while sleeping, but I do not hold any grudges against them. And yes, I am Australian. People really overestimate our wildlife down here. It is not as crazy as you think. It is cool. Story 118. My first reaction is that I need to deal with this before my wife sees it. Then it just hops a ride on my sleeve and sets up shop outside. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.